Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome to ETH Talk, your weekly look at the market in ETH Online. Now, with all of those nullsec changes that should be coming in the next release, Phoebe, I think we are in for some interesting weeks on the market here in ETH Online. One of the things that this nerf to projection and incidentally a nerf to logistics could do, or at least a lot of people are shouting that from the rooftops, is pretty much destroy Tech2 manufacturing. So I think that is also a market that's actually going to be very interesting to watch, but I also think for trade opportunities, you know, a market in turmoil is always something that that traders can try to take advantage of. So yeah, let's get started, right? First ETH Talk after the announcement of those nullsec changes. Let's start off with plex here, and I'm writing down 1 minute for that. I'm writing that down here. And yeah, plex 779, so that's actually down if I go for the 1 month chart. Look at that, pretty sharp decline here. Also down almost 20 million from last week. Could this be the turnaround we've been waiting? It's definitely the most violent correction we've seen in plex. Are we talking about big numbers on the market here? 10, 11, 10 here, 791. We were at 798 last week. Look at how much is coming to the market. Yeah, it looks half decent. This could be short-lived, but it's pretty serious drop. It's a pretty serious change here all of a sudden. So I think that this is pretty interesting. And it's definitely one of those things I will have to keep in mind and keep a close eye on. Usually, except for last year, during a winter expansion, plex always took a serious nosedive. So the Phoebe expansion with these nullsec changes is of course going to be the one release. It's not so much an expansion, but it is going to be the one release that's going to shake things up, that's going to dramatically change a lot of the gameplay. And so the real question is a little bit, how many people are going to quit over this? How many people are going to come back or finally give the game a try with such big changes all of a sudden? And so that's a little bit, I guess, the gamble that CCP is taking. I would say, I'm going to give a little bit of an anecdote here. You know, a lot of people could say, well, you don't live in nullsec, you don't know anything about the problem that this forced projection could be, or the nerf to logistics, what that's going to mean. I'm an avid follower of the live events, and there were these live events this year that were called the Kaldari Manhunt, where they had to hunt for like a carrier or a dreadnought with a provist in them, and then you could earn plex and stuff like that. And I can basically summarize all of the non-HiSec events for you. So it was tweeted where the target was. Next up, PL signos in with around 60 Navy issue, I'm not sure it's an Amar ship there, with logistics support. You know, they get around a ball of 100 people on the field. No one else can do anything. Half an hour later, the event is over. PL gets everything. So that's pretty much how every non-HiSec live event went. Yeah, last year, which of course I think is anecdotal to how a lot of fights in nullsec will be happening as well. You know, two parties want to duke it out over a moon, over a POS, over whatever. Next up, you've got a big sino in there, a couple hundred people come in to ruin your day. Well, they want in on the fun, but it's just so easy that at every one of these live events, PL was the first on the field, they were the best organized, and no one could do anything anymore. And so I do think that this is a part of a problem that CCP wants to fix here. And yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, I think, if this could be the move, the change that will actually have an impact here on the rise that plexes have known for more than a year now, starting the year at 580, ending at close to 800. Could this be the pullback? We will see next week and in the following weeks up as we draw closer to Phoebe, I think. Next up, we'll head over to the minerals here for 45. So let's start with tritanium. As always, you've probably already seen that tritanium has been up a little bit. So here we go, 554, something like that for the sellers. Yeah, 557 for the sellers, 549 for the buyers. We are starting to see bigger numbers here, 515 million, 142 million, here 527, 200. Here is 2 billion coming in at 561. Here is another 2 billion being bought. So I think it's going to slow down. But again, the announced changes could also have a serious impact on the mineral market. I do think that something like stock building is going to be very important. You'll need local forces available to defend assets you want to defend. And so that does mean that the import of minerals into Nullsec could actually go into a higher gear than it already is. There may be a little bit more loss and things like that in the pipeline, and so maybe I do think a lot of the big alliances are going to go into preparation mode for all of these changes, and a lot of that could be the building of local stocks, and so there might just be even more demand for these minerals. And so yeah, titanium been doing quite well for the entire month. Let's have a look at pyrite here. That one is slowing down, and in fact the 5-day moving average and the 20-day moving average are just about to cross. So here we go, 11.35 for the sellers, 11.17 for the buyers, 22 million, 62 million here, 24 million, 28, 40 million. So this is a much more in balance or balanced situation for supply demand here. So it's normal that it's going to slow down. On the numbers here, it looks like titanium may slow down as well. So keep that in mind. And then we'll have a look maybe at Mixalon, that was actually doing pretty well last week. But here also flattening out, holding above 70 ISK though, which is a pretty good price for Mixalon. If you're a high-sec miner, let's have a quick look at the numbers here though. 18 million, 19 million on the demand side, a few other ones of 3 million here. So it's starting to balance out. You know, people are starting to dump their stocks for these higher prices of these high-sec minerals. And so it is definitely cooling down, this increase in price for high-sec minerals. Let's have a look at Isogen. That is in fact ahead of the curve on the other ones and has already crossed 20-day moving average on its way back down, and it's already back where it started the month at around 128. 126 for the sellers, 125 for the buyers. Let's have a quick look at numbers here. 3 million, 1.7 million. The most recent sell orders are the big ones here, so this is why we're seeing this correction in price for Isogen. And yeah, it could just be the prelude to the other high-sec minerals following suit, because their situations are stabilizing quite a bit as well, where in the previous weeks demand was way higher in way bigger numbers than supply. So that's pretty interesting. Let's have a look at Noxium, the in-between one. That's still going down, heading as low as 620 now for Noxium, which is pretty low. And over here, are we seeing demand start to pick up? Well, not really. I'm not sure what to say about that, but if I go for a 6-month chart here for Noxium, yeah, starting at 740, ending at 620 with a double dip, that is true. And it's once again hitting that point. So 620 seemed to have been a psychological barrier where the market really reacted last time. Could it do so again? Keep an eye out for that. I think that could be interesting. Next up, we'll have a look here at Megasites, 820 to 848 for the sellers. So maybe on the 1-month chart you can see that it looks like it may have finally hit the bottom. Almost 800 ISK for Megasite. I don't think I would have ever seen it that low in my few years of playing. So these do look to me like extremely low prices for Megasite, and if we go for a 1-year chart on that, you can see that it has a serious crash down from almost 1700 at the beginning of the year to 800. That's less than half the price. Yeah, I think it could be a bottom here. Let's have a look at what Zydrine has been doing. Yeah, that one is coming off of very low prices, close to 400. Let's have a quick look at a 1-month chart to see here. It went down, but the last bottom was, well, at like 420, and over here it reacted before that, breaking 440 and now going back up a little bit. So what I think could be playing here is that Nullsec has realized that they may actually need to start doing some serious local production, and so the export of these high-end minerals may just start to slow down because of that. I think that's a possible scenario. I think we'll learn more about all of this in the upcoming weeks though. So yeah, mineral market, the high-sec minerals are very high, but I think all of that is slowing down. The null-sec minerals are extremely low, but I also think that those are finally starting to hit their bottoms. Let's have a look at impact on some Tech 1 chips then, and we'll write down 10 minutes. Oh, nice round timestamps here for now. Caracals apparently have been completely bought out here, so that one is obviously taking off in price. That's interesting. We've got 170 of them being brought to the market extremely recently, like 10 minutes ago. But every single caracal in Jita apparently has been bought out by a group, so that's interesting. Let's have a look at the Dominics. Not a lot available here either. Look at that, going up as well. Is that some serious stock building here? Let's have a look at the Drake. The Drake is still well supplied, so no one came in to buy a few hundred Drakes off of the market. So that one is pretty much holding steady. The Magnate here, of course, hard to go and buy that up, so that one is going steady here as well. And the Talos, you could see that earlier in the month, Talos went up pretty significantly from 68.5 to 72.5 million. That's one of those moves, I think, where someone bought out the market, but it's already starting to correct back. It crossed 20-day moving average earlier in the week, and so I do think that the Talos will go back to a price below 70 million. Actually, we're probably where the Talos is normally. So 69 for the buyers, 72 for the sellers, still holding pretty decently, but I would not be surprised that it's actually going to correct a little bit more. You can see that supply is a little bit higher here, 13.20, 31.19, 10 is the only really recent larger buy order here. So that's pretty interesting. I actually want to touch on a few other battleships and stuff like that, I think, because if this is like a move again from null-sec guys to try and create some stocks, stuff like the Megatron, I think, is a doctrine. So let's have a look here. Yeah, that looks decently empty, and it took off here. It's already ending, but that's not that bad. Maybe a few Amar ship, could something like the Abaddon. Yeah, look at that taking off. Is this empty of sellers? Not exactly empty, but yeah, pretty big move here. 206 million is the lowest sell order. Look at that taking off. Let's have a look here at the Apocalypse. Actually, this is not that dramatic, so yeah, this is still decently seated here, but yes, all of a sudden I'm seeing a lot of these Tech 1 ships that seem to have been basically bought out and probably brought to a null-sec place where they plan to do like a defense after these changes. That's my speculation on this. If you have some other ships like that where you could say that, yeah, it seems to be right, or if you have another explanation for a lot of these battleships being pretty much depleted on the market and going seriously up in price all of a sudden, I'd love to hear it. So let's have a look at some Tech 2 ships then, I think, and I will write down 13 minutes for that. 1300 for that. Yeah, let's see, maybe 6-month chart. Let's see if there's an impact here all of a sudden. Absolution still holding extremely high. Is that a jump in the last week? Or yeah, looks like it. So interesting. Let's go back for the 1-year chart here. Let's have a look at the Astarte. Still holding very high, but that could still be the effect of the Alliance tournament. Actually, 6-month chart is a little bit clearer, where stuff has been happening in the last month or so. Claymore going down a little bit. The Damnation here already taking back off. So in the last few weeks it was actually correcting, but here it's going back up. The Eagle, that's used a lot by the Brave Collective, I think. Yeah, it went down a little bit. I still feel that this is actually within normal variations here. The EOS is seriously correcting. Although it tried a little bit here to pump back up, I think it's going to continue to go down. Let's have a look at the Guardian. That could be interesting. 1-month chart, slowly going up. So yeah, it could be interesting. Let's have a look here. Data point at 136, sellers almost 137. So the Guardian is going up. I actually bought a few Guardians as an investment. That looks like it may actually pay off in a few weeks. Let's have a look here at the Hound. nice spiky behavior, but still not exactly a complete breakaway from the previous spikes. So hounds at the moment going for 23 million, which is right around this place here. Not bad, as you could see, after this spike here up to 25. Serious correction below 20 was a great buying opportunity. Sell orders already back up to 23, so this is very nice behavior for trade market. But it does seem to be decently erratic, you know. Here, for instance, the Manticore starting at 28, dropping down below 21, spiking back up to 25, now going back down towards 21. Awesome for traders, I think. The Nemesis here, very low at the moment. You may be able to buy a few of those. Let's have a look at Nighthawks. That one is spiking up again to 280. So the command chips are still extremely high in my opinion. Purifier going down, but I think before some action will take place in Purifier market, we may need to go even lower. Let's have a look here at the Scimitar. That one is taking off nicely since last week. I think I said it was possibly a nice buy opportunity below 145 here, languishing here for just a little bit. Look at that, nice spike up. Back up to 155, yeah, 154 for the sellers. Definitely like a 10 million jump up all of a sudden in a week. I think that someone could have taken advantage of if they had the funds and were willing to take that risk. It's always a little bit of a risk, of course. Sleipnir still going down, but ever so slowly, heading towards 260 at the moment. Yeah, 258 for the sellers, 246 for the buyers. So slowly the command chips are going down, but they're still a little too high in my opinion. The Vulture here as well, yeah, coming off of their highs. I think this is mostly Alliance tournament related yet, so I don't think that the changes actually have an impact on the Take-Two market just yet, the Nullsec announced changes, but I do think that this could help with making it more erratic. You know, some people might just try to make their moves on the Take-Two market expecting this one to really crash in supply. When it becomes a lot harder to move stuff around in New Eden once again. And so yeah, I'd say for traders, keep a close eye on this. I think it does have a lot of trade potential. Let's move on to the Tech3 market. 17 minutes for that. 1700. And I think that if I go for like a 3-month chart, that will continue to be oversupplied. Let's have a look at the Legion here. 19, 16, 63, nothing like that on the bar. So this is probably going to continue to go down ever so slowly. You can see it tried a little bit last week, but it's already starting to correct once again. Let's have a look at the Loki charts. Trying to hold on above 130, but 27, 80 of them here. The oversupply is still here. And so I don't think there's any reason to think that this is going to turn around anytime soon here. Again, here is Proteus 40, 20, 14, 10, 25. Look at those huge numbers. Let's have a look at the Tango here. 57, 30 here. So these are very slowly downtrending charts. Of course, 130 is already a very low price for a Tech3 ship. So you know, if people actually want to make fleets of them or want to fly them, they will buy them. But the oversupply is still a major problem for the Tech3 market, and so they're just slowly trending down. Once they come really low, probably someone will make a big move, buy a lot of them, spike back up. But yeah, supply and demand, it's just oversupplied. That Tech3 market's been like that for a few years, and so yeah, don't expect long-lasting uptrends in the Tech3 market, I think, unless all of a sudden CCP once again announces Tech3 rebalancing. So for the extra material, I'm once again going to take a suggestion, which was Tech2 drones. So let's have a look at that. 1845 for Tech2 drones. I think it's going to be interesting because, if I'm not mistaken, from the Alliance tournament we know that the augmented drones are actually better than the Tech2 drones. So I would suspect when it comes to Tech2 drones, a little bit of a downward movement. So let's have a look, for instance, here at Hobgoblin 2. Yeah, seriously down on 3 months, starting at 420k down to 280k. Yeah, I'd say maybe 30-40% down in price here. That's interesting. Let's have a look at the Hornet 2 also. Yeah, seriously corrected in price. Warrior 2, similar situation on a 3-month chart. So I think that's a very good call here. I had not thought about that myself. Berserker 2, exactly the opposite. That one may have just like been buffed enough to make it worth it. Ogre 2, oh look at that taking off. What the hell is happening with those heavy drones? Maybe because, oh yeah, they were actually increased in speed significantly. So I actually think that that may be the reason why Berserker 2 and Ogre 2 may have just become much more useful, because they were a lot faster all of a sudden. So that may have been something. Let's see if the medium drones have been going down in price. Yeah, starting at 640, ending at 560. Infiltrator against the grain here. Infiltrator up quite a bit. Valkyrie, yeah, up. I would have to say up, although decently stable if you look at here 660, and then here 660 once again. So Valkyrie not so much. Then the Vespa 400 to 500, up a little bit. So yeah, weird market. Why are all these light drones, all of these light drones, why did they know this big downward move here all of a sudden? It's kind of weird. Let's have a look at some sentry drones and maybe Tech 2 sentry drones. That feels decently stable from 0.95 to 1 million for bouncers. Curators from 0.95 to 1 million again. Sure, there are some spikes in there, but nothing too dramatic. And I think some spiky behavior is normal in Tech 2 markets. The guards from 0.95 to 0.90 to 0.95, so that's okay. The warden up a little bit more, 0.95 to 1.1 million. Yeah, the light scout drones, those have really been cutting price quite a lot. The heavy, the large drones, look at that. Berserker up on the 3 month, Ogres up on the 3 months, Praetor, that one not, but then the Wasp, look at that one taking off up to 1.8 million from 1 million. Oh really? Yeah, 2 million almost for a sell order for a Wasp 2. That's pretty significant. I'm not sure if, but I will quickly touch on them. Let's have a quick look here at some of the fighters. I'm actually not seeing anything too dramatic here. But yeah, Tech 2 drones, weird market. The small ones almost halved in price. The large ones seriously up quite a lot. So kind of weird, I would say. If you have any explanations for that, feel free to post those in the comments, because I use them a lot, but I actually have pretty big stock, so I don't need to replenish that too often. There are actually some pretty big movements that seem to be more along the line of trends than speculation moves in the Tech 2 drone market. I think it was a pretty good call. I do think that with the upcoming changes I will also have to take a look at Moon Minerals soon, but yeah, very good call there, and very interesting to see how the small ones did the exact opposite of the large drones. Interesting stuff. So yeah, there we go guys, that's it for this EVE talk. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.